ego. It's about me setting up friends and family. But it's just mind-blowing how citizens haven't said enough's enough. But Republican, Democrat, black and white supersede anything because of the childlike mentality of, I want to believe, I hope to believe, instead of the facts tell me the opposite. How many times are we going to be like in kindergarten and just keep looping this bad tape? Keep looping this same scenario over and over and over and over again. I love when I bump into people and they'll say something like, man, if Edwin Edwards was governor, we would. I'm like, what? Really? If Edwin Edwards was governor, what would happen? 4 terms of indictments and the state falling behind. What would Edwin Edwards do? Or in New Orleans, if Mark Morial were around, he'd be setting up his friends and family. His uncle would be going to jail. Sybil Morial just passed away, like 6 months ago? Her brother, Haydel, went to jail under the Morial administration. I mean, don't take my word for it. Google it. The Mark Morial administration, when he was mayor in New Orleans, the most corrupt mayoral administration in the history of the city. And without a doubt, it's easier to count the folks that didn't get indicted and go to jail than to count the ones that did. It's just pathetic. No, but in New Orleans, especially the black community, because there aren't a lot of black winners, leaders, heroes in the city, for obvious reasons, discrimination, whatever. They praise Mark Morial strictly because he's black. And it's like in the barber shop, they may not, but out on the street, especially in front of white folks, you don't want to say anything to discredit Mark Morial. He's a failure for 8 years. The best 2 things that I can think of that Mark Morial did: 1, listening to the feds. Hey, we're bringing Richard Pennington, the deputy chief from D.C. to New Orleans. And Mark Morial said, okay. And then the NBA, then Hornets in Charlotte were looking for a new home. And the business community said, hey, Mark, let us run with this. And Mark and his brother Jacques were like, yeah, Commissioner Stern and the NBA, there's really no way we can make money off this thing. There's no way we can set up friends and family on this thing. Let's let them come here, and then maybe we can set up friends and family off something that's spun off from the NBA, getting a franchise here. So he backed away from that, too. But anyone that wants to give credit, like Mark Morial hired Richard Pennington, you just don't know the facts. There wasn't some big search. Mark Morial wanted to bring someone local from within the ranks of the NOPD, not this outsider from D.C. And Mark Morial knew the NBA and Commissioner Stern, and he knew he had no shot of doing anything to land an NBA team. Best thing to do, let the Sports Foundation, let like Bill Hines, that, hotshot lawyer from Jones Walker, who's hyper intelligent and honest and has integrity and morals, let him and Jay Cicero from the Sports Foundation throw out a real pitch and try to land an NBA franchise. 10 Commandments in the classroom. Jesus is my faith. I'm a Christian. That's my God. But Jesus doesn't want the 10 Commandments in the classroom in Louisiana. Jesus isn't that insecure. Doesn't need the 10 Commandments posted in the classroom. No, these jokers know it's unconstitutional, and they're going to waste taxpayer money trying to make it happen when it's not gonna, ever.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with LeafGuard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install LeafGuard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Spas.com.
A vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make Tracy's on Magazine at Play in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in Garden District.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide Open Wednesday. You're the show producer. You don't like the route this train's rolling down the tracks? You can control the engineer. Come on in, take over. Throw me off the train. Put the train in another direction. 766-9480. Agree or disagree? We don't screen phone calls and we don't cut you off, especially if we disagree, we don't cut you off. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Let's go to the Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480 is how you participate. In New Orleans, Robert joins us. Yeah, Roberto, what's happening?
Yeah, Corey, about the city, one indication of how hard a job it must be on the city council, and this isn't what I want to ask you about, but just real quick, the school board tells them, we're $36 million in the hole because of an accounting error. Figure it out. What I want to talk about is this garbage contract. I'm trying to wrap my mind around what just happened here. Troy Henry's consulting company, who subcontracts a garbage company, told the city, this is what I understand, just told the city council that they need another, $800,000 or $600,000, or there won't be garbage pickup on Christmas. And then you've got Ramelli. I just saw this on the news. Ramelli, waste company. They're like, well, we could just do this right now. We got the, we have the equipment, we have the staff, and we got the personnel. It seems like a bait and switch, or someone once told me in some country that, quote unquote, the contract negotiations start after the contract is signed. Like, what is Troy Henry doing? If I'm understanding this correctly, to the city council. And Troy Henry, if I'm not mistaken, isn't even a garbage company. He's subcontracting someone. And meanwhile, there are garbage companies that are Ramelli's ready to do it. So I'm going to hang up and listen because I'm very confused about this.
Robert, thanks for the call in New Orleans. No, it seems pretty simple. I think you nailed a few points. Troy Henry Consulting essentially is not an expert, doesn't own companies that do the stuff he does. Like the airport was built. They brought in a company that cleans bathrooms at airports all around the country. They weren't doing a good job, or there was a problem with the contract. The city canceled the contract. Troy Henry immediately put in a bid to clean the airports and had not a single person that does that under his employ. He won the bid, went out and hired subbed it out to a company that does this for a living, or if it was easier just to form a company and start hiring people, that's what he did. But it's sort of cart in front of the horse with Troy Henry. And he's not doing anything wrong or illegal, but he knows in the city of New Orleans, he can do this kind of stuff. Plus, he's black, so it's, you need a minority partner, at least, if not full minority, doing the work. So Troy Henry bids on the French Quarter garbage contract and beats Ramelli Waste reportedly by just a few $100,000. And immediately has Richards Disposal, a company that is in this business for decades. They have the trucks, they have the personnel. He goes to them and is like, how much can you clean the quarter for? Or did it before the bid went in? And this is what it entails. And Richard said, we can do it for this amount of money. And Troy Henry added a little bit on top of that so he could make money and put in the bid and won the bid. Then went back to Richards and said, hey, guys, I think what Troy Henry says is there are some, if it's 50,000 spots you have to pick up, there's really only like 45,000 where you're picking up, and there are 5 that we count that you're not really picking up trash, but it's part of the deal. And Troy Henry's like, I'm not going to pay for the 5,000 that you're not picking up. And Ramelli's like, you knew that was part of the deal originally, and that broke the deal. And then supposedly there was something about, I'm trying to think exactly what it was. It was like weekend pickup or holiday or something like that, where there were extra hours needed. And Troy Henry didn't put that in his proposal. Ramelli did. So Troy Henry goes back and figures out these extra hours needed, extra days of pickup, whatever that was. And it was about a $500,000-$600,000 addition to his original bid. And that's when J.P. Morrell and Helena Moreno came in and were questioning, okay, you had Richards as a subcontractor. That's in the deal that we approved. Richards would be your subcontractor. Now he's not going to be? And all of a sudden you want $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 extra because you made a mistake on days that you didn't realize you'd have to pick up, or hours that you'd have to man the trucks, whatever it was. And then Ramelli comes in and says, we had those hours in our deal, in our bid, and with the additional $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 of the contract, our bid is lower. Our bid is lower. So Ramelli's saying, either give it to us because we're cheaper to do the job, or at the worst, rebid the entire thing. And that's what J.P. Morrell and Helena Moreno are pushing. So that's as best I understand it, Robert. I mean, give Troy Henry, give him credit. He knows how New Orleans works. It's like the Six Flags bid. I mean, that was just flat out embarrassing. Instead of the city going nationwide, hiring a company, letting everyone in America know this prime spot right on the edge of New Orleans, in Orleans Parish, on 2 interstates, I-10 and I-510, right on the corner, just a prime spot. I mean, do you think Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's even knew about it? Did Buc-ee's even know about it? Did Flying J Truck Stop even know about it? Did Arnie Filco had a proposal years ago to do what Troy Henry's doing now, these sports fields. It was World of Dreams or some Wide World of Dreams, some group that build sports complexes all around the country. Do you think they knew about the old Six Flags site? Obviously not when local guy Troy Henry wins the bid for the site, and the runners up, and I mean, you can't make this crap up. The runner-up for that Six Flags site was Drew Brees and Saints middle linebacker Demario Davis. It is... None of them have any expertise in the Six Flags site. They aren't Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's. They aren't Flying J Truck Stop. They're not Buc-ee's. They're not Disney World, a water park company, a sports field company. They're none of that. So they essentially, it reminds me of the old NBA 30 years ago, early 90s. The Times-Picayune headline, "We got them," meaning the Minnesota Timberwolves were going to move from Minneapolis to New Orleans. The group that was put together to get the team was Bob Arum, the boxing promoter, Fred Hoffeinz, the old Houston mayor. They formed a company called Top Rank. And NBA teams were roughly valued at like 125, 130 million. They were going to pay like 180 for the T-Wolves. So their whole deal was a few things. One, we're going to pay 50% more than the value of the team, so all the other NBA teams go up in value. So the NBA owners are going to be on our side. And then they didn't have a nickel, 2 nickels to rub together, essentially. They didn't have the money. But a bum on the street will work for food. If he has a contract from the Minnesota Timberwolves ownership to move the team to New Orleans, any bank anywhere is going to lend them the money for that. A bum on the street with not a penny in his pocket, begging for food, any bank in America will lend that bum money if he's got a contract to move the NBA team. NBA Commissioner David Stern was smart. He's like, these people don't have any money. We want owners that have money and wherewithal that can buy the team because they've got the wherewithal to do it. Not we're one of 30 teams and you got the contract. Any bank will lend you the money. We don't want it working backwards. We want it working forward, where the ownership has money. So he basically got with the owners and said, guys, this isn't good for the league. Y'all are all successful businessmen that earn the right to own a team. Let's not give it to these folks that don't have any money just because they have the contract and a bank will lend them the money. That's just going to set us up for bad ownership in the future. This is going to be, taboo. This isn't going to be good. So Stern got with the owners and they nixed the deal. The "we got him" headline didn't last long. No, the Commissioner Stern was protecting the NBA and telling these guys that, Top Rank with Hoffeinz and Arum, they don't have the money to do it. You're not getting the team. It's not moving to New Orleans. Nix the deal. Troy Henry operates a lot that way because New Orleans allows it. What's the bid? Cleaning windows on downtown buildings, picking up trash, airport bathroom cleaning, street repair, whatever it might be, cutting the grass on neutral grounds. Whatever the bid is, I'll bid for it, and then I'll sub it out to someone that does that instead of someone that does that, going after that job. So, no, Troy Henry's not doing anything illegal or crooked, but the NBA would say no to something like that. The city of New Orleans says yes to stuff like that all the time. So this trash contract, I think 2 things, Henry wanting to up the price and also changing the person he was subbing it out to, Richards Disposal in this case. That's on the contract. That's what the city council approved. And JP Morrell and Helena Moreno are like, now it's not going to be Richards. We have to rebid this thing. And Ramelli's saying, our price is under Troy Henry's price. Give us the contract.
Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to reduce violence, invest in our children, drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Yeah, you right. Rouse's Market's phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. We'll definitely talk to Michael Hecht about this on Friday, even though it's way out of Greater New Orleans, Inc.'s jurisdiction. Greater New Orleans, Inc. tries to bring something good economic wise to the 10 parish region of Metro New Orleans. This is way up by Monroe, a little town called Holly Ridge. I'd never heard of Holly Ridge. It's in between like Monroe and Vicksburg. Never heard of Holly Ridge, Louisiana. Meta, Facebook's parent company, Meta, plans to build a multi-billion-dollar AI center in Northeast Louisiana, Holly Ridge. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 miles east of Monroe, up on I-20. I got 50 big bucks, good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. You know, we don't have many Fortune 500 companies in Louisiana. I think we have like what? Poolco on the North Shore that employs thousands. Poolco. Entergy, which doesn't even count because it's a private monopoly supplying power to New Orleans, Louisiana, other states. I'm not saying they don't employ a lot of people and they're important. They do. But it's not like it's a fake Fortune 500 company, but it's not a Fortune 500 company that deals with customers directly and has competitors also dealing with those customers. It's a monopoly. It's a power company. But there is one other Fortune 500. Isn't that sad? The entire state of Louisiana, 3, and one of them's Entergy. Poolco is legit. Built from scratch, Fortune 500 company. They earned it. They have competitors. You can go to another pool company. Entergy doesn't. They're a monopoly. But there is another one based out of Monroe. Monroe, Louisiana's Fortune 500 company. Sadly, they were bought out by a Denver-based company, and slowly but surely, jobs have been growing in Denver with this company, and jobs have been shrinking in Monroe. They used to have a few thousand. Now I think they're down to 800, and 800's a lot. If Michael Heck came on this program and said, you know, we're going to have 800 tech jobs coming to Elmwood or downtown New Orleans, wherever, New Orleans East, people would freak. Could you imagine 800 tech jobs, a new building being built to house the folks off Bullard or off Reed in New Orleans East? It'd be like a coup. So it sucks the jobs are shrinking, but there's still 800 of them in Monroe. It's still based out of Monroe, even though Denver has a ever-growing presence with this company. Name that Fortune 500 company in Monroe. If you have the answer and you don't use the internet device or Google search engines, none of that. If you have the answer, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Got a couple of holdover questions as well. The U.S. Postal Service will release a stamp in early 2025 with Alan Tucson on it. How great is that? Alan Tucson getting his own stamp. Can you name other New Orleanians that have been on U.S. postage stamps? Name some other New Orleanians that have been on U.S. postage stamps. What an honor. Nationwide, no real local influence. We do have one of the guys that painted the stamps, that came up with the portraits that would go on these stamps, is a native New Orleanian. I forget the guy's name. It's like starts with an E. It's like 4-letter last name. I forget it. But this guy was, you know, I think 30 or 40 portraits that went on stamps of people. He painted them. And most of them, 99% of them, weren't New Orleanians. Might have been Elvis Presley, something like that. Name some New Orleanians. Name a single New Orleanian, native New Orleanian, that's been on a U.S. postage stamp. I'm pretty sure LaToya Cantrell's going to be on a stamp because she deserves it so much. There's a list coming out. These placards are going to be sunk into the sidewalk on Canal Street. Top 50 most influential New Orleanians of all time. Mia X is on that list. You know, Mia X. DJ Khaled or Khaled, whatever his name is. He's on that list because he's so deserving. And LaToya Cantrell put herself on her own list. Can you say sledgehammer, lead pipe to that placard that's going to be sunk into the Canal Street sidewalk if it ever happens? That thing's going to be destroyed immediately. And I'm not saying do that at all. I'm just telling you that's what's going to happen. That's a felony. The artwork itself is going to be north of $500, sinking it into the sidewalk, the labor and everything way north of $500. It'll be a felony to destroy that public property. I highly don't recommend doing that. Do not do it. But, this is beyond my control. The mayor kind of repulses folks so much that somebody is going to take a lead pipe or a sledgehammer to that placard of LaToya Cantrell and destroy it. I think that's a big waste of time for a few reasons. One, it's wrong. It's public property. Two, it's against the law. It's a felony. But three, the mayor, speaking of against the law, will most likely be indicted soon and go to jail, and the placard will be removed all by itself. All by itself. Anyway, Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. That's how to participate. 766-9480. Name a New Orleanian that's been on a United States postage stamp, 766-9480. And Monroe, Louisiana, soon to get a Meta, Facebook, AI, multi-billion-dollar center that's going to employ hundreds, I think like 500 people. We'll visit with Michael Hecht on Friday to discuss that more. It's in Holly Ridge, Louisiana, east of Monroe. Monroe has a Fortune 500 company. What's that, Blue Boy? You know the name. You're asking if you're eligible for the $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift card. I don't think so, buddy. You're part of the program. Sorry, not eligible. But you are. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 5 o'clock power hour. Next. Don't move.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. Then we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Yeah, you right. You know, we balance things off, Corporal. You don't have any kids yet. I don't have any children. That's to balance out Elon Musk and Nick Cannon, I think. They have like a dozen each. That's just impossible. You cannot be a proper parent or father with a dozen kids. Especially when you have the lifestyle and the things you do that Nick Cannon and Elon Musk do. I would venture to say even someone as highly intelligent as Elon Musk or as successful as Nick Cannon, they cannot name all their children's first, middle, and last names, even the last name, like the mother of the kid and the birth date. There's no way. There's no way they know their dozen children's birth dates. No way. Crazy. I just don't understand that mentality, procreating like that. And it's not just like, a lot of folks think it's like a socioeconomic thing. Like poor people shouldn't procreate. It's like, for me, it's people that aren't parenting material shouldn't procreate. I don't care how much money you have. You know, I mean, if you're so poor with the kids starving, that's a concern. But I have acquaintances that are college graduates, husband and wife. They pull 6 figures, maybe 7 figures into the family. Might be north of $1 million a year, literally. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in income, maybe north of $1 million a year. They're simply not parenting material. The money's irrelevant. They're not good parents. I mean, I remember when I was married, I went to like number 4 on the list. It's like my wife, mother-in-law, you know, that kind of stuff. I was like, down the list. I got friends that are married with children. They're still number one. They're more number one than me, and I'm single. It's like, dude, how can you be number one? You go out and party more than me. You go out and chase women and you're married more than me. Just mind blowing. It's like, do you know your kid's name? No, having a kid's easy. That's simple. I was talking to a buddy of mine today. Getting married is simple. Sustaining the marriage, actually raising your kids as a father or mother, as a parent, that's difficult. That takes effort. It doesn't just naturally happen. But man, some people, they procreate and there's no way they can be a proper parent. It is physically impossible to raise a dozen kids today. You would have to be totally monetarily independent and focused exclusively on them. Like you won the lottery. You don't have to work. You don't have to focus in on your money at all. It just comes in. You're naturally wealthy, and all you do is focus in on your dozen kids. And then even then, I mean, I would think one of the 12 is going to feel like neglected. I don't get as much attention as number 1 or number 7 gets. Anyway, no, Corporal, we're balancing it out. We're balancing it out. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. Where are we heading, Corporal?
The Unicorn Lady of Louisiana.
Boy, these are getting strange. Yesterday we had Confederate Cash was the guy's name. And this is the Unicorn Lady. Unicorn Lady, how are you?
How are you, Corey? I think you're absolutely fabulous. I am one of your fans. I think you are marvelous. I love the way you think. You are non-biased on many issues. You are a highly intelligent gentleman. And I am one of your fans. I am so excited to be speaking with you. You are just absolutely over the moon. And I have a lot to discuss. I'm long-winded, so you might have to keep me on track. But I want to comment on the last topic you brought up about parenting. Corey, children are suffering. It breaks my heart. I understand that in Louisiana, behind a high school student's ID card is the suicide hotline number, an emergency hotline number that a kid who's having a crisis can call. That's a bad sign, Corey.
Boy, that's a really bad
kids,
sign.
If they are so depressed and so traumatized that they need drugs, they're trying to take their lives, they're fighting in school, I don't know. I'm going to make a long story short, Corey, and I don't want to overtalk you, but I need to shout it out on your radio program. People act, and I'm not saying all people act as though they have forgotten all about God the Father, the entity that has created all of us. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt put no strange gods before me. God wants love, but human beings love money. You cannot worship God and mammon. Mammon is the money. Now, don't get me wrong. I like money. I need money to survive, but I don't love money. I don't worship money. I'm not going to sell my soul, my body, or my intellect for the money. God is first. God created me, and to him goes the glory. What is wrong in America today is that people have put God on a shelf and they are worshiping money. This is why, mon ami, they don't have time for their children. This is why they don't love their kids. These kids are starving for love. They are starving for love, Corey. I need to be quiet and let you talk.
No, I think you make a lot of great points. Now, for me and for you, God is the thing. I would say you don't have to be a believer in God or a God to have morals, ethics, integrity, to know that children are important, to not worship money over, the righteous things in the world. But I think what God represents to us You either better be connected to God, or at the very least, the ethics, integrity, morals that a God promotes, you better be connected to that if you don't believe in God. And I agree with you 110%. Money is king. Material objects are king. Folks procreate. They don't have parenting skills. The kids are just, begging for attention, begging for love. A lot of kids do deviant, crazy stuff strictly to get their parents' attention because they're being neglected. No, a lot of adults are selfish, Unicorn Lady. They're selfish. They're just worried about themselves. You there, Unicorn? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I thought I lost you. My fault. These kids need love. Everybody needs love. I need love. But let me make this perfectly clear. If no human being chooses to love the Unicorn Lady, I have the greatest love of all. God loves me. I love him. I know him. I'm connected with him. And to all of these celebrities that are selling their souls, this creature called P. Diddy, I cannot stand him. He's a monster. There's a special place in hell for him. I do not like him. To sell my soul for material things, I'll say it in non-standard English. Ain't gonna happen. I live for God. I worship him. And I'm no saint. I'm a sinner like most humans. But I strive to correct my mistakes. I'm not perfect. But Corey, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm not a criminal. I don't use drugs. I have a lot of good things going for me. And then I have some character flaws as every other human. But I'm still working on it. And I know God loves me. So if the rest of the world says, hey, I don't like Unicorn Woman or Unicorn Lady, that's your choice. I'm not looking for acceptance. And speaking of acceptance, I want to throw in something about, and I hate to bring up this topic, but everybody talks about race in the South. I'm going to solve that problem once and for all. There are racial differences, and not everybody's going to like everybody. Nobody is obligated to like everybody. If a person wants to be with their tribe, their clan, their culture, they have the right to do so. What I have a problem with is when some people throw out the word racist. A person may be disliking you because you don't have character. A person may dislike you because you're hard to get along with. A person may dislike you because you are a menace to society. But of course, you're going to hide behind race to keep from changing your flaws. Capiche?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to say, oh, well, you don't like me because I'm black. No, you don't like yourself because you're black. Now, I know I'm going to stir up a hornet's nest here. And as far as the politicians you were speaking of, Ray Nagin, Morial, and all these people, they're self-serving. They're not going to help their people.
No, you're right. Unicorn Lady, you're right on the money. I don't mean to cut you off, Unicorn Lady. I'm heading to a break right now. Love the call. Hey, do me a favor. Hang on. It's holiday season. I'm going to get you a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Don't go anywhere.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
You want to stay somewhere special in New Orleans? You got friends, family coming in from out of town. They're staying at your house, or you're putting them up at a hotel. Have them stay somewhere special, memorable. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast. Their website to book, gvbb.com. gvbb.com. Grand Victorian Bed Breakfast, gvbb.com. There's only about a dozen rooms available at this glorious uptown mansion on the streetcar line on St. Charles Avenue in the Garden District. It'll be very, very memorable in the most positive way for friends and family coming in during the holidays that are going to stay with you, or you are going to put them up at a hotel. Put them up in style at the Grand Victorian. Yeah, if you're listening or watching from outside New Orleans, the Grand Victorian is a great way to stay in the city. Very close to attractions within walking distance, Britannia Magazine, St. Charles Avenue, restaurants, historic places, and the like. Plus, you're right on the streetcar line. Head to Uptown, the Riverbend. Head downtown, CBD, French Quarter. It's right there in front of you. Now, Mardi Gras sold out at the Grand Victorian, right there on St. Charles Avenue on the parade route. The Super Bowl, room still available for the Super Bowl. Valentine's Day weekend, make that romantic getaway super special at the Grand Victorian. French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, room still available at the Grand Victorian. Go to their website, gvbb.com, to learn more or to book a room. gvbb.com, the Grand Victorian. What a great stay vacation. You're living in New Orleans or Metairie or St. Bernard, the North Shore. Want to check out St. Charles Avenue, live on St. Charles Avenue for a few days, for a week. gvbb.com, the Grand Victorian. Do it in style. Do it in grand style. The Grand Victorian. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals here in New Orleans rejected a request by the state governor, Jeff Landry, AG Liz Murrill, to temporarily stay an earlier order restricting placement of the 10 Commandments in Louisiana public school classrooms. This is a joke. I don't see how people that love God, love Jesus, are pro 10 Commandments, yet are Americans, don't get this. I love Jesus. That's my faith. Doesn't matter if you like Jesus or not. That's my faith, my choice, what I believe in. That's for me. But I live in America. The clear separation of church and state, and so many other, Kentucky in 1980, Louisiana a few years ago, Texas, Oklahoma, they've all tried to post the 10 Commandments specifically in classrooms or put a public monument on public property, and it's all failed. It's either everybody or nobody, and everybody's impossible. Now, I think the Slidell courtroom, a courtroom in Slidell, put a Jesus picture on the outside wall when you're in the courtroom. Obviously, right away, it's like, we prefer Christians. If you're not Christian, you may not get a fair shake in this courtroom. I mean, isn't that easy to see? It's not harmless, or it's only good and Jesus is wholesome. So a judge was like, it has to come down, or you have to let everybody put their stuff up. And I think the latter happened, like where there are 50 pictures on the wall of all kind of stuff besides Jesus. Just crazy. All or nothing. And nothing's the route. Separation of church and state. That's what makes America great. If Jeff Landry and Liz Murrill were fighting for some Quran prophecy or Buddhists or Judaism, you folks that are for the 10 Commandments would be freaking out. It's like January 6th. Folks that try to downplay that like it's no big deal. If it were a bunch of liberals, you'd be freaking out. If it were a bunch of black people that stormed the Capitol, like those folks did on January 6th, you'd be freaking out. I'm not saying you have to have empathy. It's a plus. As a human being, it's a plus to understand how other folks feel and react to things. And maybe it's not in your ballpark like how you think, but empathy's a good thing. But you don't have to have empathy. And if you lack empathy, understanding how other people think, at least go by the tenets of America and First Amendment, separation of church and state. It's pretty simple. And try to think of the reversal. I know it's difficult. Think of the reversal. What if it were some Muslim or Jewish guy or woman or Buddhist that was in charge of the state as governor and was the AG and was pushing, hey, this prophecy from the Quran, it's only good. It's similar to the 10 Commandments. It's things about, doing things right, being a good person, living by these standards. Well, it's just an incidental that it's out of the Quran. People would be freaking out about it. You'd be freaking out about it. Let's go to the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. We're going to Houston, the metropolis, Planet Houston, Harris County, one of many Metro Houston counties. Harris County itself has a larger population than the entire state of Louisiana. That's just mind-blowing. Tucker joins us from Houston. What up, Tucker?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well, man. Yourself?
Good.
Hey, where do you live in the Metro Houston area?
Oh, I live in the Heights.
Oh, my God. My buddy just sent me the gift card for,
area.
What is it, December 10th is Lights in the Heights?
That's correct. You got it.
Yeah, I went last year. It's a great old historic, middle to upper middle class, maybe even some rich folks living in there. It's within the I-610 loop. Everything else is outside of it. Really great Houston neighborhood.
It's a real good neighborhood. Some of it kind of reminds me of some of the neighborhoods in New Orleans, the architecture and everything. Even though we don't have any old stuff, that they try to build the new stuff that kind of looks like that. But it's a great neighborhood. I love it.
Yep, you got some stuff from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I would think definitely the 40s and 50s. Yeah. And
some of the bungalows are still there, but most of them are being torn down to build townhomes or big mansions or whatever. But they got some there. You're right.
And that Lights in the Heights, everybody lights up their house for the Christmas holidays, and pretty cool celebration.
Yeah.
What's happening, Tucker?
I wanted to take a stab at the question about the Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, the Meta is going to build a multi-billion-dollar AI center in Holly Ridge, which is east of Monroe.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about a Monroe Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that. That's news to me. Which is great news. I think anything like that coming to any part of Louisiana is great.
Yep.
I wish it was something in New Orleans area, but I mean, yeah, that's great.
No, I'll take it for Monroe or for sure. Holly Ridge. It's 500 employees too, not like 80.
Absolutely.
So it's great.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely agree.
Coupled with Tucker, it's a tech company, not some plant on the river polluting.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. And I hear you. And we need a lot more of those, especially in the New Orleans area for sure. And it's mind-boggling why they don't have them, but it's just the way it is.
If we had 10% of Houston's, big companies, tech companies, white collar jobs, New Orleans, we would be so giddy, we'd be peeing in our pants.
Oh, for sure. And I was born and raised in New Orleans. I graduated from De La Salle, and I would love to be able to move back to New Orleans. But I came over here for, job opportunities, and it's just that's where I ended up. There's no culture over here. It's a big, huge, trafficy city, and that's where my business is. But I would love to be able to move back to New Orleans. I'd love to see that. I come back to New Orleans 4 or 5 times a year.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things.
No, fully understandable, Tucker.
Well, I think the company, I know this for sure because I follow it, but CenturyLink, or I'm pretty sure it's called CenturyLink now. It used to be maybe CenturyTel, but CenturyLink is the company.
Yeah, it's actually called Lumen now. This Denver company bought them. It's still based out of Monroe, but they're kind of shrinking the workforce in Monroe and growing it in Denver, but still 800 jobs on that campus in Monroe. So, yeah, CenturyLink, Lumen Technology. You are correct, Tucker.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
I guess when you come in town with the wife or girlfriend or whatever, or give it to your mom, any females maybe that still are in Metro New Orleans, 5 area Woodhouse Day Spas where that gift card is good.
Actually, my partner and I go over there a lot. But my parents have a condo there, and they live in Bay St. Louis, but they have a condo that we go over there and spend time at. So, me and my partner, and he'll take the gift certificate, no problem.
Nice, man. I'm liking that. Excellent, Tucker. And that's pretty cool. Parents are in Bay St. Louis, yet they have a condo in New Orleans. So anytime that's available, good spot for you guys to go.
For sure.
That's awesome, Tucker. I'm a De La Salle grad myself.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was class of 1990.
Nice, man. I was just a little bit in front of you, about 5 years, class of 85.
That's right.
Nice, Tucker. Glad you called. Glad you won. Excellent job. Yeah, CenturyLink, Lumen Technology in Monroe.
Awesome. Well, I enjoy listening to your show. I've been listening to it for a long time when you're on the other stations or whatever. And I don't get a chance to listen to it every day, but whenever I do, I turn it on. I go through my phone and listen to it.
You're the man, Tucker. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Thank you, too.
That's Tucker in Houston. Hang on. Don't go anywhere, Tucker. The corporal's going to get some info from you, and we'll tighten you up with that $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate, sending it to the Heights neighborhood in Houston. Small world.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
I'm fortunate, as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube or listening on the radio, you can hear it. Lots and lots of clients, lots and lots of sponsors of the program. You know, it's easy. First off, I'm fortunate. Second, I get to pick and choose. Clients want to be on the show, or sales folks approach clients, and then it's my choice if I want to have them part of my show or not. One thing I think you've noticed, I don't just put anybody up there. I'm not promoting or hyping someone, and then 3 months later, I'm not hyping or promoting them. A lot of talk radio hosts, they have no idea who the client is. Some salesperson comes to them and says, the Joe Blow company wants you to do endorsements. How much are they paying me? X amount a month. Okay, and they just do it. And then in 3 months, they don't gain any traction, and the company suspends the advertising, and that talk show host just moves on, took his 3 months of money. I don't operate that way. Some clients have been with me, obviously some for years, some over a decade, like multiple ones over 10 years. And like Young's Dry Cleaning, they've been with me since the late 90s. Might be the longest running sponsorship in talk radio history in the United States. I'm not kidding you. Like going on 30 years, these folks have been part of this program. I've been promoting Young's Dry Cleaning since the late 90s. It's pretty amazing. But one thing all these companies have in common, they're the best at what they do. They're the best at what they do, the very best in New Orleans and beyond at what they do, their specific category. Like Leidenheimer Baking Company. So easy to promote Leidenheimer. I love Leidenheimer French bread. Didn't have to twist my arm, didn't have to introduce me to it. I've been enjoying Leidenheimer French bread for over 50 years. If it's an authentic New Orleans po' boy, you know it's on Leidenheimer French bread. If you're at some fine dining restaurant, the first thing you usually taste is Leidenheimer French bread, that little mini loaf, piping hot, some room temperature butter. That's just impossible to beat. Leidenheimer Baking Company. They've been baking that Leidenheimer French bread for nearly 130 years and exclusively baking it in the city of New Orleans. It's like that New York pizza dough. Man, it's the water in the New York water that makes the pizza dough work. Well, it's the water, it's the humidity, it's the environment, whatever it is, that bread is exclusively baked in New Orleans. After Katrina, they opened a small bakery in Baton Rouge, and the bread did not come out the same. They immediately closed it because the bread had to be that Leidenheimer French bread you've been enjoying for decades and decades. Over a century they've been around. They outdate every living New Orleanian. Leidenheimer French bread, truly good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer Baking Company. No, easy to promote Leidenheimer. I love it. Been eating it for decades before I ever talked about it on this program. Easy to promote. We all know it. It's the best. Hey, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals here in New Orleans rejected Governor Landry, A.G. Merle, their temporary stay to let the 10 Commandments be posted in Louisiana public school classrooms. Yeah, it's unconstitutional. It's anti-American. It doesn't matter that it's a good thing. I'm pro 10 Commandments, especially like 4 through 10. I never understood the first 3. My God, my Jesus doesn't need to push, don't, worship other gods, things of that nature. My God, my Jesus is pretty secure. So definitely 4 through 10, I'm a proponent of. And I don't mind 1 through 3. I like the 10 Commandments. It's part of what, I grew up with. I'm a New Orleans Catholic boy. I'm Christian. That's my faith. But also I'm an American, and I obviously have empathy, understanding of how other people think. And if you're not Christian, you're a member of another religious group, or you don't believe in God at all. And there are a lot of people like that, and they're good people. They just don't have the faith that us faith holders have, and that's fine. You don't want to inject someone else's religion. And all I can say to you folks that are pro 10 Commandments in the classroom, what if it were a Muslim, Buddhist, Judaism type thing? What if there were tenets of the Quran, and they were all positive? They were just like the 10 Commandments, like a positive way to live, a good, wholesome way to live. You'd be freaking out. You'd be like, why do we want to put some something from the Quran in New Orleans or Louisiana public school classrooms, you'd be losing your you-know-what. But because it happens to be your faith and Christianity, you want to justify it. You want to overlook all the other people that aren't Christian or don't even believe in God, and you want to overlook the separation of church and state, and you just want to cling to it's a good thing, and then you want to follow the BS line of the governor and the AG like it's part of the history of America and how the country was founded, and it's bigger than religion. No, it's not. This is Louisiana politics at its worst. All of this is a waste of time where the governor and the AG could be working for us like they're supposed to be. Elected officials, civic-minded. But this is about them getting reelected. This motivates their base. Their base loves it. Their base is hardcore right. Many are evangelical. They embrace the 10 Commandments. And what's wrong with it? It's not a problem. It's only positive. Everyone can learn from it. You don't have to be a Christian, all of this. Yet if it was another religion, you'd be freaking out. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. These are easy, simple kindergarten concepts. Just struggle if it is a struggle for you, but struggle to find some empathy and understanding of how other people think. It's as simple as that. And it's clearly unconstitutional. It's been tried time and time again in America, and it always fails. It's cut and dried. But no, their base loves it. They fail, they still win. And they're going to fail. But they still win because my boy, my lady, they were going after the 10 Commandments, my thing. I'm all for it. It's a great thing. And the loss is almost better than the win. Boy, they're putting in the effort. They're trying to change the law. They're trying to change America for the better. Putting my 10 Commandments in the public school classrooms, ridiculous. Ridiculous. All politics. How many kids are actually going to read it? Seriously. How many kids are going to stop and look at that little card and read the 10 Commandments and take it in? I mean, the Christian kids already know the 10 Commandments. Folks that study religion, theology, they know the 10 Commandments. But thinking the average kid in a public school is going to go read that and care about it is insane. Strictly politics at its worst. At its worst. Hey, the film tax credits are pretty much saved. I think the state has about $150 million that they allow in tax credits for the film industry. They lowered it from 150 to 125. So I guess 25 million will go towards the billion plus deficit, lowering the income tax. They got to compensate for it somehow. No, the lowering of the income tax, you got to raise another tax, the sales tax in the state. You got to tax things that aren't right now being taxed. You got to raise taxes on things that are being taxed. It's not a free ride. It's not just eliminate the income tax in the state. Places like Florida and Texas that have it, they put it on the homeowner. We're the opposite. We have a homestead exemption. I'm a homeowner. I have a mortgage. I take advantage of the homestead exemption because it exists. I would vote tomorrow to eliminate it, and I would pay additional taxes on my home of $75,000. It's ridiculous. Some politician decades ago came up with this, and it got him or her elected. Hey, whatever your house value is, subtract $75,000 off of it. It's a homestead exemption, and you only pay taxes on that amount. If your house is a $300,000 house, you only pay taxes on $225,000 because we're going to allow $75,000 to be subtracted off your homestead exemption. No, we should have everyone. If you can afford a house, you can afford the taxes on the house. That's how it works in Texas. That's how it works in Florida. That's why they don't have an income tax. They make up for it with homeowners because it's like the biggest purchase you'll make in your life for 99% of the population. Maybe 1% of the population is buying a company or doing something larger than a home. For 99 out of 100, home purchase is the biggest thing. So you rightfully tax that and get rid of the income tax. It's a balance. You have to generate the money somehow for the state. In Louisiana, we want to lower the income tax, eventually eliminate it, but lower it. And then we have to raise taxes somewhere else to compensate. The money just doesn't magically appear. Hey, I was speaking about Young's Dry Cleaning, been talking about them since the late 90s. It's true. Almost 30 years. They've been at it for almost 85 years, since 1940. Tired of your dry cleaner? Simply want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, even manless locker locations all over the metro. Find out more, Young'sDryCleaning.com. Oh boy, Scrim, the runaway dog, went from uptown to the convention center area, all the way to the convention center. Now heading towards Central City. Hey, next time you catch Scrim, what's that Apple thing called? The little chip, the little AirTag? AirTag Scrim. AirTag Scrim. At night, Scrim's going to sleep. Get about 10 people around the area, you can catch Scrim. You can put a tranquilizer dart in Scrim and then track him with the GPS. AirTag Scrim.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disk, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, premier source for Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Hey, if you wear prescription eyewear like me, there's only one place to go in the city. Eyewear that's as unique as you. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Art and Eyes on Magazine, in between Napoleon and Louisiana. 3708 Magazine, to be exact. The Riverside of Magazine, about a block from Restaurant Lillette. High quality prescription lenses, ridiculously high quality frames from designers you've never heard of. Europe, Japan, the United States. You know, when I was growing up, Ray-Ban, Persol, Revo, those were great frames. Now they've all been bought out by some giant Chinese conglomerate. It's all Chinese-made garbage. Yeah, Ray-Ban, Revo, Persol. None of it is the quality it used to be when it was like made in Italy or the United States. Art and Eyes has the highest quality eyewear available. And so many different choices. And the best part is, you'll never see someone on the street wearing the glasses you got at Art and Eyes. Super high quality, all different price points. They have a basket on the counter with about 150 frames in them. The frames are free. All you pay for are the prescription lenses. Some of these frames are like $700, $800, $900 for the frames. They're free. All you pay for is the prescription lenses. They've got a big case of 50% off. And then they've got everything else in there, including Art and Eyes, their own line of lenses, of frames. Art and Eyes has their own line of frames. And a lot of these are super high quality, made in Italy or Japan or the United States. And you can look at the other frames that are almost exactly the same, and they're like 3 times the cost. If you wear prescription glasses or you're just looking to get a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine. Now, I love that place. I was in there about a week ago. Fantastic. I used to have like one pair of prescription glasses, one pair of prescription sunglasses, and I'd roll with those for like 3-4 years and then get a new pair. I have about 3 or 4 pairs of prescription sunglasses from Art and Eyes, and I've got about 3 or 4 pairs of prescription glasses from Art and Eyes. I like switching them up. I like the high quality. I like the look. Fantastic. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Corey Johnson with you. Wide Open Wednesday. Boy, this week's flying by. Already middle of the week. Unreal. We're on the downside of it tomorrow, heading towards the weekend. A glorious weekend. How about this ridiculously nice weather? Tomorrow when we wake up, temperatures are plummeting overnight. I bet you it's 70 degrees right now, if I had to guess. Wow, 65. It's going to be 48 when we wake up in the morning. Boy, it dropped about 5 degrees since I came in at 4 o'clock, 6 degrees. It'll be 48 in the AM. That's on the South Shore. That means you North Shore folks, low 40s, maybe even high 30s tomorrow morning. And then the high temperature tomorrow, maybe 63, 64 degrees. Friday morning, 48. Saturday morning, 46. Sunday morning, 52 degrees. And tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, high temperatures maybe in the mid-60s. So lots of 50s and 60s over the next 3 days. Gorgeous sunshiny days through early next week. Heats up a little bit on Sunday and Monday. Might creep back up into the mid-70s. But sunny and nice. Probably sunny and nice for the next 6 days through like next Wednesday. So enjoy it. Enjoy the wonderful weather. Get the jacket out, the gloves, the wool cap, especially if you're going out early in the morning. Going to be nippy. Not cool, cold. High 40s on the South Shore, low 40s, maybe even high 30s on the North Shore. Finally, huh? Just in time for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving a week from tomorrow. Might be like, 65 degrees on Thanksgiving Day. Hey, better than 80. Better than 80. And just this cold weather, just the feel of it for a few days, it's overdue. It's much needed. And not just to kill mosquitoes, but it's much needed. Thank goodness. Hey, are you on the causeway right now, tooling to the North Shore? Trey Yen in Mandeville, so damn good. Fire in a to-go order, curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your car. Tough to beat Trey Yen. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. You walk in the house, mom, dad, the kids, you're a hero with that big to-go order from Trey Yen. Or better yet, dine in at the foot of the causeway, you North Shore folks. South Shore folks, that means 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center, you're in the parking lot at Trey Yen. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the causeway immediately on your left. Wonderful. Trey Yen, so good. I'm at Trey Yen like once a week. I live on the South Shore. I'm in the Carrollton neighborhood, Riverbend, right by the parish line, by the Sewage and Water Board, Pigeon Town, right there, end of Oak Street by River Road, where Claiborne's hits Jefferson Highway, right by the parish line. I'm at Trey Yen once a week because I like it that much. Seriously, I love it. Hot pepper chicken, anything with the tung cho sauce. I get a Jade Garden sampler, a spring roll or egg roll, some butterfly shrimp, some of that sliced pork. Trey Yen is just so damn good. Love it. They've been at it for 45 years as well. They know what they're doing. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Thursday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. We'll have a full slate, including a few more $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Yeah, you right. And then we'll be fading into Friday. Can't wait for that, not only because it's the weekend, but Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. And this doesn't fall within his purview, but it's in Louisiana, so I'm all for it. Way up near Monroe, Holly Ridge, Louisiana is going to get a Meta AI center, billions to build, employing like 500 white-collar workers. That's right, Blue Boy. White-collar workers, tech jobs. We need a lot of those in Louisiana. That's Blue Boy saying thanks for checking out the program. Thanks for participating. See you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.